What's up? He's
Sorry.
Mr. Bill
So
Grundler.
dumb. So dumb. God.
Well, you have to be responsible for so many different time zones. Like Chase is different than you. We're different than Chase and you. Like I'm sure for you, it's just math that just doesn't math sometimes.
I had it all like mapped out. I knew. I thought. I'm like, oh yeah, 5 Eastern Standard, no problem. Okay, cool. That means I got to be here at 3. I'm like, okay, well, I'll coach my class. I'll grab something to eat real fast, and then I'll be all set to go. No, it's 3 hours. It's bad math. So thank God. Like you text me like, hey, we sent that over to you. I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, we're like ahead of the game, right? You're like, no, in 3 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. Jeez.
We've learned
3 minutes. God. I apologize.
No,
you're
you're
fine.
good.
We've learned this game. We've messed up so many times that like now 5 minutes out, I'm like, hey, like,
did you find the link?
if you have any problems, let me know.
It's usually they can't find the link. Like I don't know about for you, but for whatever reason, my Gmail account is all fucked up. Like I don't get messages just in my inbox anymore. It goes to like everything goes to my junk mail. And so
why? Really?
I don't know. It's something weird now. Like I have to go sometimes into the all mail folder and like scroll through to make sure I'm not missing anything or search if I'm like waiting for something. I'll search someone's name and I'm like, oh shit, this one emailed me like 4 days ago and I didn't even see it. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird. Yeah.
I love technology, but man, I tell you what, when it does not work right,
it's so annoying.
No, that was a technology issue for you. Mine was just my issue for me. That was not a technology issue at all. At all. I mean, I had, this is not a justification for me fucking it up because that was just me all about it. But I did a show extra early with Chase today because he wanted to do that High Rocks thing, which is earlier than we normally go. So it's like, okay, what time is that? And I got to try to fit that in between the classes. And then I'm coaching. And while I'm coaching, we're trying to figure out when we're analyzing the syndicate show. We want JR on there. Well, so we're trying to figure JR's time and, hey, what time do you have this available to? And it's okay, cool. I just got to be back there at 3. No, you got to be back there at 2, dude. Oh my God. Anyway, hi guys. How we doing?
Hi. It's good to see you. How are you?
You look extremely fit after doing all those 100 workouts that you guys have been doing.
Listen, it's been so fun. I will say that first and foremost. Like it's been so fucking fun. The baby is completely invested. He is
looks
counting
like
down.
it, man. He's so stoked on every video I see. Now, granted, that's a very, very small snapshot of time. I understand that, but he looks fired up on it every time. That's cool.
Well, because Bill, if I actually recorded how long it takes us sometimes to do these, like they would be like a 20-minute video because there was one, I forget which one it was that we started doing 20 reps and then like taking a break. It probably was the 100 burpees or the Turkish get-ups, honestly, was awful.
I knew that was a long one. Awful. That's why so that one was supposed to be number 50, but it ended up on a Monday. And I'm like, I'm not going to have everybody do that on Monday. There's no way with people's work and trying to get regulars. I'm like, okay, well, I'll bump it back. So that was why it was 49.
Oh my God. That one was awful. To this day, that one is the worst one, but it took us so long to do that. So now every time he's like, can we do 20 reps and then take a break? So that's why I started doing the fast videos so that you could see that we do them. Like in that video, I don't know if you could tell, we were throwing a football to each other between the burpee broad jumps. We did, I think down and back, we could do 12. In the lane that we were at the gym, we could do 12, 6 down and 6 back. And then he wants to throw the football. I'm like, bud, can we finish these? Like, I don't want to keep staying here for whatever. But it has been an absolute blast. He loves it. And I actually am thinking about doing something for once this 100-day challenge ends, I'm going to create a new one for him and I. We're going to ruck every day for 100 days.
Oh,
I'm going to get him like a 3-pound weight vest that he uses sometimes for a sensory anyways. He's used it before, but this is so good for him. I was hoping that this was going to like, I don't know, chill him out a little, and it does not. But keeping the fitness, keeping the momentum, keeping that like, carrot at the end of the tunnel kind of thing to keep him working towards something has been very, very good for him. So I'm just super stoked with him. He's so cool. He's such a good kid.
It's been fun watching. I have a handful of members that like their kids jump in with them. And I have this one member and he's got a little a daughter. And I think she's, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years maybe. She's young.
Mhm.
And she's fired. Like, that's the first thing she asks him, what do we do today? What do we do today? And I mean, she can do some of the things, can't do other things, but just loves being involved with it, which is really cool. And I think that, that whole, okay, cool, everyone's involved and there's time that's spent together and that sort of a thing. But I also really think that it becomes a routine of doing something active, which is what a lot of kids don't do anymore. They don't get that anymore. Even like if they go to regular school, it's like, okay, some PE, maybe if they still have PE in some of the schools. I mean, because I know a lot of them will even take it out, but they want to do something with their parent, and it's like that lead by example kind of thing, which is really cool. So
yeah,
even my daughter, when
it makes him really want to practice. Like ever since they've been doing this 100-day challenge with you, like he wants to go outside. He wants to throw the football with me. He wants to go practice baseball. He wants to go like, he's just like, okay, I did the 100-day challenge. Now can we throw the football 50 times?
How crazy is that there's that connection where like you
Yeah.
do something physical every day, then you just want to be more physical because you just see yourself as more physical. If all you do is you're glued to a screen and you don't do anything, then how could you think to do anything active like that? It just, that's really cool. There have been way more cool like these weird external wins out of this whole thing than I was even really expecting.
How many have we lost? How many we lost? Total
5. And
That's
I thought for sure there would be more than that.
And how many
5.
signed up? Do you know off the top
There
of your head?
There was 20, 21.
Oh shit! And we've only lost 5.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Now there have been a lot of close calls. Like there have been,
like mine.
Yeah, but you are not the only one. So we've had. So I let people, if they missed for whatever reason, up to day 50, they could buy back in. Now you can't buy back in anymore. So if you miss, like you're out. Like that.
Oh, it's done. Okay.
Yeah. But what was crazy is that's the routine part, because this is weird because a lot of them aren't really hard. Like 100 jumping jacks. Like, come on. 100 flutter kicks. Like that. There are a lot that are not a big deal, but it's so easy that it can get lost in the shuffle.
For sure.
Way easier than I thought.
Yes.
And that's where I was like, oh, I'll get to it. Oh, I'll get to it. Oh, I'll get to it. Fall asleep.
Yeah. And there was actually another time that I almost missed. So the first time I almost missed is not that we didn't do it, as I just forgot to post it.
Totally.
So we did it earlier in the day. I just was like, I meant to start to post it, and then something happened and I forgot about it. And now, mind you, I scroll on my phone before I go to bed at night. So I'm on Instagram and I just didn't think anything. Woke up in the middle of the night. Fuck, I ruined this for my kid. And then I was doing the math. I was like, wait, are they 2 hours behind me? 3 hours behind me? What are we? And so I just in time was able to get it. But what was it, babe? I think last week, he actually went to sleep and we didn't do the challenge. So I woke him up and was like, bud, we didn't do our challenge today. And he looks at me, he's like, what, mommy? And I was like, babe, we didn't do our 100-day challenge. And thank God, whatever it was that day was quick. We could just get it done super quick. I think it was like a flutter kick or a sit up or something. Yeah. I was like, thank God, because if it was a burpee or a Turkish get up or something, I'm like, we were screwed. This boy was going to be up till like 11.
Mr. Tyler Watkins. For a second, I thought Bill
dude?
was on their channel and he was doing a live call-in by himself.
Anytime. Bill can come on this channel and take anybody's call anytime he wants. And you guys would love that.
Congratulations, Mr. Watkins.
I know.
Baby boy is beautiful. Yeah.
Daddy Watkins.
Daddy Watkins. That's awesome, bro.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
awesome.
Can't wait to have you back on to talk about it. So cool. Oh, Bernie Gannon. Let's qualify that. Glued to the screen is not good, except during Glinton Things podcast, Bill and Chase cast too.
Well, thanks. We'll take it.
But I see a huge difference. And there are some days like where he does get a little bit more screen time or TV time than normal. And I'm like, we can't do this all the time because, like, as we all do, we need to move. We feel better when we move. But this boy, I'm like, if I don't go do something with him outside of this house, one of us is going to lose. And I don't know who it's going to be, but one of us is going to lose. And he is so into football now that what he does is he reenacts the plays that he's seen on TV. So he's like faking and trying to punt it and like going around.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
throws himself into the couch, like throws the ball up, catches it, dive face first into the couch. Like this boy just wants to be. I wish we had a gymnastics area closer where he could just go like run into the walls if he wanted to.
Yeah.
You know?
Did he not do that before this?
No.
Really?
No.
Not at all?
I mean, he was very into statistics. He wasn't into
about like sports stuff.
Yeah, he was into
just like
he wasn't into the physicality.
It's more like okay. So he didn't want to go and run and throw the ball. He didn't want to go and
he was into the numbers. He wanted to know like when you were drafted, how high you were drafted, what was like draft day was crazy for in this house.
Wow.
Not so.
But when he started doing the 100-day challenge with Colleen, with you, then all of a sudden it was like, oh no, I want to go do this. And P.S. by the way, he had a was it last night? No, the night before. He had a little league game and he had his first outfield hit.
No way.
Yeah. And so it was so cool. He was so pumped. He threw the bat. I have to teach him like, dude, you got to just drop the bat. You can't like, because he's tossing it like he's a professional player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, no, you're going to hurt someone. You can't do that. You're too big for that.
But he's definitely into sports now.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do like, I mean, he's played sports for a long time. We had him in soccer. We had him in jiu-jitsu for a little bit. You know, he does boxing, swimming. Like he is an active kid, but all of a sudden this boy is, and he's done flag football too. And we've talked with you.
He loves flag football. Yeah.
But like he is about this baseball on a whole other level. And we both believe it is because he's so competitive with this 100-day challenge that we decided
it really has changed what he's
competitive as shit.
Now,
oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, Jeremy, I challenge
really?
Bill to week 4.
Oh, really?
Have you seen this? Have you seen this phenomenon yet?
What is it? Oh, okay. I think I've seen parts of it. I don't know the whole thing. What is the whole deal?
So if you don't know Jake Chapman or Jan Clark, they're like they have their own podcast now. And
right.
I would very much like to say they're now doing it on our podcast. But
on our platform,
they basically do Kill Taylor, but it's for regular people. Like it's not
winner stays on.
Yeah, winner stays on.
So it's like a slap Taylor. It's not a Kill Taylor. It's just a slap Taylor.
Slap Taylor. Yeah. And the winner stays on. So like Heidi Kroom went against Jeremy last week, only lost by like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They've had
Slater went on.
We're trying to goad Matthew into doing it with him.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to do it,
you should.
Like, what was the event they did? What was the last one?
They give you a kit of things. So like right now it's just dumbbells and
but last time it was a pull-up bar and a box.
Yeah.
So they did toes to bar and box jump overs, but you had to step down.
Yeah.
And it was
the week
8,
before
4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8 or whatever. Like it went down and up.
So they scaled it that way because it was Heidi versus Jeremy. So like instead of scaling like what they scaled the numbers. So she was able to keep up and
do everything unbroken.
Yeah.
The goal was for her to do everything unbroken. Jeremy initially, what did he do? 21:15.9.
He wanted 21:15. Yeah.
But she wouldn't have been able to hold on for that.
So it was 21. And it was really cool. And the week before that, he went against Slater, who's super freaking fit too. And they were doing like a 100-foot lunge with dumbbells and with burpee box jump overs for that one.
Burpee box was and farmer's carries.
And farmer's carries. Oh, farmer's carries. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Grant.
That was what 4, 8, 12. Wait, was that what that one up to?
Yeah, that was
3, 6, 9.
Yeah.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15
of
the burpee box jump overs. And between each round, you had to do 4 laps down back of farmer's carries with 50 in each hand.
It's fun. It's cool. And it's like regular, like the chat can jump on, you know what I mean? And then it's winner take all. It's fun. It's we get to see ourselves.
Jeremy would have to do it barefoot if
I was gonna say Jeremy's gonna do it barefoot. 100 double unders with no shoes on for time.
Yeah, right.
I've done that now. I've tested all the things. I did rope climbs without. They forced it to be legless, but like I did rope climbs. I've done double unders. I was worried about that one. Worked out okay. So I'm like, okay, checked all the boxes. Now I don't have a reason. I mean, unless it's like I don't know, run far on the pavement or something.
That just seems so weird. I know that it was just something that you wanted to do, but like to think about doing workouts barefoot like is so weird for me.
What kind of working out did you guys do before you got into the CrossFit thing? Like when you did workouts, what was it? What
Muscle and fitness.
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, back day, leg day.
Okay.
Just lifting.
All the machines, all that kind of stuff. The
bench press.
I mean, and that's cool. Like I'm good with all those things. I mean, I did a workout yesterday. Then I'm like, you know what? I got a little extra time. I'm going to do this. I did like 10-to-1 dumbbell curls and dumbbell bench press.
Yeah,
10,
that's
10,
me.
9, 9, 8.
Yep.
So that's cool. What it feel this is a stupid comment, but it is very true. It feels super freeing. Like the first time everyone went and did CrossFit for the first time, when you weren't locked into like, I'm doing lat pull downs and I'm stuck in the machine that's doing this, or I'm doing the leg raises or the leg curl, where you're locked in and you're really confined. When everyone went to CrossFit, it was just open space and barbells are flying around and kettlebells and dumbbells are just kind of like, they're just in the air and then they're on the ground. The freeing feeling of going from a regular gym, a Globo gym, to that's what this feels like to me. And it's like, and I wish it could be more of a, there was some more like, yes, I'm trying to ground myself to the earth, and I'm on cement, you know what I mean? And I'm on right. I am a little woo. I'm not gonna lie. What I figured out is that the older I've gotten, I've had all my like staunch points and my like, this is this, and I'm very scientific and data driven and blah blah blah, to where you get to the point where like, I have no explanation for that, and it still happened. Okay. There's something else going on there. I don't know what it is, but there's something else out there. So like I do like, and especially being in the health and fitness space and being very anti what Western medicine has become. Where do you turn to? And you turn to these other things that are way more holistic and way more natural, and things that have been going on way before Rockefeller's got all the petroleum, pharmaceuticals going and all that kind of stuff happening. So it's nice. It is nice. It just feels really freeing to me. Like it's just, when I started CrossFit, it was all about minimalistic everything. And that is where I'm back to. And again, like I don't have any real reason of like, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. I just am doing it and I just kind of like it. So fuck it. I'm going to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason that's the reason I liked CrossFit when I found it through my friend who was coaching at the time. And it was just that. It was something different every day. It wasn't like, International Chest Day on Monday and then back in buys on whatever. And so, yeah, that's the reason I loved it too. It was just like, oh, I can go in there and I can just die. You know what I mean? And everybody's doing it with you. And that was the fun part about it. We all just, it was great.
It is very weird, like thinking, and I've had this conversation now. I started having it with Tyler. I've had it with Chase a bunch of times, where there's been like this weird full circle that people that have been in the space for like a long time. I mean, like I first did my very first CrossFit workout. Like when I first was introduced to it was like 2002. So it was like when the website first came out. A guy that I knew that was actually in Glassman's gym. He was one of the members of that gym. He's like, you got to check out this website because you like doing crazy workouts, and they're on there. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. But I didn't know what it was. I didn't get it. But in the beginning, it was get yourself thrown out of the main gym. by doing all these crazy things and go home and make your own stuff. So it's like how to
like
make
get thrown
rings.
out of Planet Fitness, like
Yeah.
drop a deadlift.
Yeah, like if
and
you
whatever.
aren't getting thrown out, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, well, Planet Fitness will throw you out now because you're grunting and it's a
yeah, you make noise. yeah.
You don't get the thumb up on that one, you know, or
safe space.
whatever, safe space, whatever. But that was the whole thing. It was very like, you don't need to be in a gym. You don't need to have all of this crazy equipment. You need to get some things to move around, and we'll show you how to make some things, and you can get world-class fitness out of that. And I just really liked that idea. And now coming full circle after competing and coaching and doing all the things and coming back to be like, where I can do that. And I feel that. And it is, man, I have such a, like an affection for that kind of working out now again, which is awesome.
You want to do something other, than just the same thing every single day.
I want to be a badass. I want to be a badass to do anything. I'm not trying to win the games. Like that's specific. That is a specific way to train. I want to be able to do anything I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go and do a CrossFit event. Or I want to be able to go on some hike. I want to be able to go on and lift something heavy. I still want to be able to look good. I want to be able to go out and surf, and I want to be able to do all of these things and know that I have a machine that can at least do some of that stuff. Oh, hi, babe. How you doing, babe?
Bill is gay for CrossFit. No,
you know what? Okay,
I mean,
there's a love, man. There's a love, and you know what's crazy is this is what's crazy.
As does Jeremy. He's trying to talk shit like he doesn't too.
Yeah,
totally. This is the hard part for me. Like the older I get, I'm a loyalist, and I think that. Like that, being loyal to the things that have made you who you are or what you are important. I not to say that you didn't do or I didn't do my, I didn't have my growth or my successes because of what I did, but there are people or things that helped me get there. And I see what CrossFit has done, the methodology wise. And so it's crazy because with all of the things that have happened over the last, since 2018, I guess, where it just really started getting all weird all over the place, and nobody knew what the heck was happening. I still love exactly what the methodology is. There is nothing else out there that is better. Nothing. And the thing is, it's cool is I've tried all the things on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know what Orange Theory was like, and I wanted to know what F45 looked like, and I wanted to know.
Boot camps were big then
Barry's
too.
boot camp.
Totally.
Yeah.
I took a Barry's boot camp once, and I was like, whoa. And for me, it was more like you're just thrown into things. It's like 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. And you're just thrown, but not in a way that it kind of felt like that with CrossFit, because there was still a sense of like, this is the movement pattern. The movement pattern is most important. Yeah, you're going to have those days where it's like just 3, 2, 1, go sweat. But this literally was like, go run on a treadmill as fast as you can. I'm like, no warm up, no nothing, no explanation as to what is going on. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, it was very chaotic, but not in a CrossFit chaos kind of way.
No, totally. I mean, and that was in the time where it was, if you are breathing hard and your heart rate is up at a whatever level, pick the level that it's supposed to be at. That's Orange Theory's whole thing is it gets into the orange zone. And that's why they call it Orange Theory, because the theory is if you hit that heart monitor, that's why everyone wears the heart monitor so they can see where they are, because it's the sale of that's the fat burning zone. And if you stay in the orange zone, you will burn more fat. And everyone's like, oh, then I'll be skinny and I'll look better because I'll burn fat. Okay, I get the sales pitch. I get it. I understand. Yep. But there is nothing out there that works the same way as what CrossFit does. And granted, it has to be done the right way, as everything. Okay, so like Kate's talking about HIIT training. HIIT training is not CrossFit, and this is no bad on you, Kate, at all. HIIT training is an element of CrossFit. Strength training is an element of CrossFit. Monostructural stuff is an element of CrossFit. Sprinting is an element of CrossFit. It's not just 45 minutes of everything, or 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, or just doing a 5x5 back squat. Like all of those things, like it's the totality. I mean, me and Chase we were talking about the High Rocks thing today. And I said, if someone was doing Fran, they're not doing CrossFit. They're just doing a workout that's called Fran that has 2159 thrusters and pull-ups. But that is not CrossFit. Murph is not CrossFit. With Murph coming up. It is a workout that we use, but like for it to be considered CrossFit, it's got to have this it's got to be varied.
Yeah.
Constantly varied.
So that's why the High Rocks workout and guys, calm down. I'm just asking a question. The High Rocks workout is High Rocks, right? So that's what High Rocks is that workout.
It's a workout.
It's a workout. It's that workout.
Yep.
It's a workout.
You could put High Rocks into CrossFit and that would just be a workout for CrossFit.
This is the thing that me and Chase have been saying for a while. High Rocks, look at all the long events that we've done at the games.
Run, run.
Yeah.
We've done Murph twice.
Yeah, she's so mad. She saw the first event of the games and she's like, so there's just no water. Like,
no, you're not even allowed to drink water. They don't want anyone around water at all. It's not even allowed. It's anti-water. And I swam. Like I'm the same way. Like I don't agree with that. I understand. I don't agree with it. Yeah. But there is with CrossFit, we say that like as long as it fits in the circle of a true test of fitness, a well-rounded test of fitness with all the boxes checked, there's no reason why it can't be in there. And with the way it is right now and how it's such a big thing right now, it should be.
Dense.
Penalty. That's right. See, it's illegal. It's illegal. You got to go with blinders on.
A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square.
Yes. So it is just that, I mean, in all reality, a marathon, there is nothing to say that a marathon couldn't be in the CrossFit Games. It should be. Yeah. In fact, like for us,
row.
Exactly. I mean, for us, I think that the specialist type events should be in the Games because we already test the fitness. Granted, the last couple opens have not really tested it totally, but we've tested general fitness in the open, and technically we're supposed to do it in the qualifiers, so the semis. So we've already done the CrossFit. So we know that everyone's fit. Now it's like, okay, you're fit, but where are you really good? Not just, all right, well, you're going to check the fitness again. Like, it makes no sense to do Fran in the open, Fran in the semis, and then Fran at the Games. Mm-hmm. We want to know how heavy you can do something, how fast you can do something, how long you can do something. You're already the fittest people on the planet. In our definition, you're the most well-rounded athlete out there. So now what can you do? So I think that that's the difference. But, yeah, man, it should be out there. And what a perfect time to do it. This is like at the height of High Rocks right now. Why not do it?
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, I mean, there's the only for the High Rocks people. And I have a bunch of members that do High Rocks, in my gym, and they're if you think about what types of people they are, they're the runner types. That's why they like to do Spartan races. That's why, like before that, they wanted to do the Tough Mudders because it was a run with some other fun things thrown into it. Yeah, and it makes it seem a little different. But that's a lot of running. But the runners like to do it. Why do people? Why have you guys ever done a marathon?
No.
Hell no.
I've done one, and it's off the list, and I never want to do it again. Like, I have no need to do it. But there are people that like every holiday, everything. There's a fun run, and there's just to get people out to go because it's easy to do, and everyone.
Well, I was gonna say I look at that kind of stuff as the thing that I don't want to do. So I do get like sometimes a little urge to be like, oh shit, I would really have to train for that. Like I would really have to train to.
That's why she married.
Do well on it.
Huh?
If you want to do well on it, you need to train for it. As a CrossFitter, you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, that's okay.
But I've never done a 5K before.
Do you think? Okay.
Yes, you have.
Do you think you could do a 5K?
No, I have. No, I don't think I could do a 5K.
What do you mean you don't think you could do a 5K?
You did a 5K. Oh no, you were pregnant when we did that.
No, I had I just had the baby.
Yeah, she didn't do it.
You did and got lost.
I got lost.
She did like
on the trail.
Got lost in a 5K.
It was a turkey trot.
Yeah, it was like in the woods and
yeah.
it was
I needed my phone to get out.
I see everybody running back, and I'm like, that's not my wife. That group, no, nobody in that group is my wife. So now I'm going onto the street because there's a street that surrounds the park of where they ran. And she's down at the very end of the fucking road. And I was like, how the hell did you get down there? She's awesome. All by herself.
So I had to check what my phone said to when I like finished actually like 3 miles or whatever the hell it is. And that was my time. Because I had gone like 5 miles. Because I was just
got lost.
It's cool. So it's fine.
Well, because I was gonna push the baby, like because we had the stroller, but the way that they did it in like the woods, and I was like, there's no way that I can. I was like, there's no way I'm pushing this damn baby through the woods up and down these hills and stuff like that. So
I guarantee you could do it right now. Yeah. It's not anyone that has done CrossFit for any length of time. Any reasonable length of time where it's like, okay, you're starting to learn that you could do it. It's not, I mean, you're not going to win, but like, who cares? You know, like most people don't do a fun run because they're trying to win it.
Because it's fun.
You know, it's fun. I mean, they're going to go to the one where it's like it's like the race group that's in there, so they can actually get after it. So I like, but that is, we can do what we do in CrossFit and be able to do high rocks. Mm-hmm. People can't do high rocks and then come into a CrossFit gym and have the same level of success or and I don't mean placement success, but like just finishing competency. Mm-hmm. They just can't do it. It wouldn't happen. It doesn't work the other way. So
is that kind of what I always wonder why high rocks well, I mean, not people in gyms or whatever, but like online, the fight between high rocks people and CrossFit people is, you know, CrossFit are trying to tell them like, hey, you're a part of us. And they're like, no. And you also couldn't come over here and do what we do. And that's kind of the fight that they're having at this point.
It comes down to one word. And this is the word that was a buzzword in the space, in our space, and even pre-CrossFit, which was changed once Glassman came into the space, and it was the definition of the word fit. They say that their athletes are the fittest, and it's like that goes directly back to the statements that Glassman made when he said, you know, Outside Magazine or the Outdoor Outside Magazine, whatever, they would crown their fittest athlete, whoever they said was the fittest. And every year it was it was an Ironman triathlete or an ultra marathoner. And they are they're very good. I mean, shit, they're the best in the world at this one thing. Just like Olympians are very good at one thing because they are a specialist in that event. They are known as a fringe athlete. That is not the fittest. That's the best at that sport. A strongman. Like to say that the High Rocks world champion is the fittest is just like saying the strongest man in the world is the fittest.
Right.
It's a very one-dimensional use of the word fitness, where before there wasn't a definition. Now there is a definition, or at least that's what we use. So when someone uses that, it's like, okay, well, how do you quantify that? Well, because they won a race. Oh, okay. So then they're just the fastest, not the fittest. Yeah. The fastest. And that gets really important. I mean, it's the same thing when you're talking about, you know, there was all that talk that was happening with John Wellborn and stuff, saying that the Glassman said that CrossFit athletes were the most athletic. And it's like, no, they're not. Have you seen Jason Khalipa?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, fit. I mean, the guy's fit as fuck. He's still super fit. But there's a lot of athletes. I mean, Jeff Adler is not athletic, but he is fit by our definition. And so, I mean, those are important words to use, because if you're just saying them, then all of a sudden that argument that you have becomes moot. So if they are using our terminology, loosely like that, it's like, whoa, no, you're not. You're not the fittest. You're
Right.
fast.
I get it. And I get
So I think that's it.
I get the athletic thing too. Like, to be considered super athletic, like, I would say Rich Froning is athletic.
He is athletic.
There's nothing SEMA that they can barely ride a bike. Like, Rich Froning can ride a bike, he can throw a baseball, he can slide in home plate, he can play hockey, he can do CrossFit. He's the epitome of super athletic.
Right.
It's
and fit.
Yeah, and fit.
And
right.
fit.
And the fittest CrossFit Jesus.
Right. Based off our definition. And I mean, even we throw that word around a lot. You know, if we're talking about, I've heard John say some of the things where he's saying that, like, so-and-so is just fitter than someone else. And usually that discussion comes in where it's like a running type event, because that's, I mean, we're almost, it's said so much and so loosely that it becomes that if you're a good runner, you're fit. And that was pre-CrossFit. That was what everyone thought you had to do. I mean, it's still out there now. It's like, oh, I need to get in shape. I need to lose some weight. What does everyone do? Run.
They do.
Yeah.
That's that's the first step. That's the first thing that everyone thinks of, that I need to get in shape. I need to get fit. I need to lose weight. I need to start running.
Yep.
And that isn't necessarily the right thing. So.
All right, hold on. Let me pull. All right, Corey, you got me.
Oh, geez.
You got me, Corey.
These DMs are not always safe. So.
No, this one is.
Oh.
So we were talking about Rich Froning, and someone put up, there's no better way to get in, or I guess they used his photo. There's no better way to get in shape than to prepare for a triathlon. This guy will tell you. And that's Rich. And then Rich writes, I'm that guy. And no, I won't tell you that.
That's awesome.
I did. Okay. So when I got my level 1, and this was like 2007, I had, like, I'd already done triathlons. There's a triathlon up here, like an Olympic distance that was really fun. And I would train for that and do all that kind of stuff. And I remember I was really getting into CrossFit, and I wanted to test it, because it was like, okay, if you do this, you should have a strong enough base foundation to do any of the things that you want to do. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to train at all for the triathlon. I'm just going to do our CrossFit workouts. I mean, it was what I was making, and I don't program like a ton of running. It was like, okay, we're going to do a 5K today. That's a great thing to put on there for all the people that did. I'm not hacking on you. The reason I don't do that is because if I went to a gym and that's what we were doing that day, I would turn around and say, can I have my money back? Thank you. I'm not going to go and pay you so that I can run a 5K. I'll go do that outside the hotel. But I just did our training, our regular CrossFit training, and I was short of my best time by like 3 minutes or something like that. What would have made the difference is if I would have had a little bit more training on, like, just how I was doing my gearing on the bike as I'm going up and down the hills. This one ride was pretty hilly, so that would have done it. Now, I'm not saying that that by just doing CrossFit I would have gotten my best time. But what it did was it allowed me, like, that is the piece where I can look at any athlete and say, let me use this to train the machine. I will make the machine a better machine. It will be a more well-rounded machine. And then you take that better machine and you layer these sport-specific things over top of it. Like, it's not, I work with little baseball kids. It's not my job to teach them baseball. I don't teach them how to swing. I don't teach them how to throw. What I teach them is how to squat, how to pull, how to do pull-ups, how to be, I have them do like these different things. Like we did this one thing yesterday where they took the wooden box. They had to flip the wooden box. They had to hop over it however they wanted to. Then they had to pull it back and flip it back the other way. And they went back the other way. So they're going back and forth, picking it, like however you want to do it. Mm-hmm. That's being athletic. That's using your body and trying to make it figure out what's the best way to do whatever. So we do, I mean, those kind of things. And my job is to make them stronger and have a better engine. And then the baseball coaches, they can do all the pitching and throwing and whatever. I've done the same thing with wrestlers, swimmers, basketball players. I mean, all of these firefighters, all of these different elements, and it's the same training. And that's what's so great about it, is you can't use any of these other training, any of these other styles or methodologies or anything. They won't work the same way. It doesn't work exactly the same to make everyone have this base and then layer whatever on top of it. You can't do high rocks and then all of a sudden be a good municipal firefighter. You just can't.
Yeah.
Like it would be decent for like a wildland firefighter if you're up and down hills, like, okay, because that's closer to that, but it just doesn't work that way. So it's really interesting, and I nerd out on that shit bad about what this can be used for and how can this work, and is this really? I mean, I would second guess myself half the time of being like, am I really doing the right thing for this kid that was trying to do whatever? And then I'm like, I watch them move, or I watch as they're kind of going. I'm like, yeah, of course I am.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting stronger. They're getting faster. You know, geez.
Yeah. I know that we could all nerd out. I know Colleen could nerd out on this for the next like 2 hours. But
I only have one more question, but go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
okay.
Go ahead.
We were talking about athleticism or whatever. Do you feel like in any of the CrossFit games that there has been a true test of athleticism? Like just straight athleticism? And if there has been, what is it? And if there hasn't been, what would be your event that you would create to just show pure athleticism while trying to find the fittest on earth?
I think with the field that we have, the obstacle course, the Pendleton obstacle course, because they had never seen that before, and you would see athletes being forced to figure out what way they thought would be the best way to, slide down the pipes or get it, up over this one hurdle or under this other one. I think for these athletes to be tested, it has to be something that's outside the gym realm. So it's not barbell stuff. It's not going to be kettlebell stuff. It's going to be something that they don't normally do. Mm-hmm. When I first really saw it, I would have said that when they did the skills test and they did the handstand walk for distance, and Rich won that. Mm-hmm. That particular test was very athletic at the time, because you could tell that no one could do it. Mm-hmm. They just hadn't gotten up on their hands. But like, that's a very athletic thing to put your body in space and move around. And yes, it's gymnastically oriented. I get it. But like, it is very athletic for the people that are doing that. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Rogue does a better job of testing athleticism. Oh, you mean with their obstacles?
Okay, yeah, with the obstacles, with the pegboard that they had.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So the pegboard is not even when the pegboard came out the first time at the games, and on all the women especially, they had just sat there and looked at it because they couldn't do it. A handful of the guys could do it, but they didn't know how to do it. And I said it on the broadcast, like literally on that time, I go, okay, these athletes can't do it. Guaranteed all their parents could have at their age, because that pegboard was in everybody's gymnasium, and everybody did that. And that was it. Athletics is almost, I don't want to say it's directly, it's more closely correlated to like calisthenics, where you're using your body in more of a space rather than specifically lift this thing up to here and back down just to see what it is. And then a more functional practicality, or in a more dynamic scenario. Like, I mean, if you were to think of an athletic athlete, like who I would pick would be like, like a wide receiver, or a guard, a wrestler, like, because they have to use all of their abilities, conditioning, explosiveness, power in very weird angles, and be able to adjust on the fly to make their body move to do something that like doesn't, like those guys, and the guys when they're catching a ball in the NFL, like, how do you practice that? You hope your hands go up there, like, well, okay, we're just gonna.
They have to know where their body is in space. They have to know. Yeah.
Oh, so what you're saying is the Saquon Barkley jump over, reverse backwards one that he did in a game is athleticism.
I think that, yeah. I think, yeah. Okay. So check this out. I had this conversation with the 12 to 14-year-old baseball players, the kids that I work with yesterday, and they were talking about, someone said something about like, oh, you know, that one pitcher's kind of fat though. And I go, well, no.
You're talking about Clemens?
Yeah.
Clemens?
Probably. I mean, if you look at all of the professional sports, like the big ones, they're probably the least fit in our definition. And I would say least athletic of most. That you know, barring taking out like a shortstop or something like that. I mean, there are still some athleticism in that for sure. But like, I have a guy, the guy who has all these baseball kids, he played for the Oakland A's when they were in Oakland. And he's like, baseball players are lopsided, very sport specific. They're good at one thing. And I'm like, okay, well, if you think about what other activities or sports do that exact same thing. Golf, very like high eye-hand coordination, very target oriented. Bowling, darts, like pool, billiards.
Who's that guy in golf that he had the mullet? John somebody. He was always drinking a beer, and he won like however what. Come on.
I don't know much of the golfers, but I know what you're talking about.
Big dude. Like, he had so many. Oh my God, that guy was amazing. And he would win. Yes. Yeah. Daly. And he would win. And he was like the biggest, fattest dude ever. And he literally did nothing to help his body in any way, shape, or form. And he would go, John Daly. Thank you. Yep. Okay, cool. Yep. And he had a mullet, and he would just go out there and hit the ball 800 yards and it would land 2 feet from the, he did nothing for himself. Like, right. Absolutely. He just,
baseball players are the same way. Like, baseball players will get out there. I mean, so my member, he's like, man, we would be drunk the night before. Half the time we'd be stoned out on the field. I mean, and granted, there's a lot of pressure and all that kind of stuff that goes into, and I get it. But like, I grew up as a wrestler. Shit, half the time I couldn't drink water, let alone go and have alcohol to try to do whatever. So there's a lot of sports out there that element is there. And the people that are good at them, not that they're, I mean, look at all the guys that did the steroids, the Mark McGuires and those guys.
Oh yeah.
They had the skill, and then now you just put that extra power on top of it, and it's like cranking it outside the, you know, home runs all the time.
But okay, but steroids for me, like, yeah, they're not good for you if you know, they're not done under a doctor's supervision or what. Maybe they're not good for you at all. I have no idea. But then you have like the 80s basketball teams that are like, they're literally doing coke all the time. Like, they're in the locker room getting a cigarette and a beer at halftime, and Stern had to come up and like, it's
different times.
Yeah, man, it's so crazy. But then we say the same thing about the games athletes, that they fuel themselves with Sour Patch Kids and
energy drinks,
Snickers bars, and so is
so
professional sports, like, is that a different? It wouldn't be for the regular people like us that, like, hey, we're just trying to lose 10, 15 pounds. We're trying
to.
No.
That's not
I'm not
gonna the same realm.
I'm not gonna fuel myself for my 8 a.m. class with Sour Patch Kids and a C4.
Sour Patch Kids?
Like, you know what I mean? It's
no.
I might have when I first started CrossFit.
any elite level sport, there is nothing about it that has to do with fitness. Wow. Okay. Okay.
We're here.
I mean, hey, aren't we supposed to say sponsors or sponsors? It's just cool because isn't there some, I don't mean to cut you off though, but isn't there something going around of like, should Red Bull be sponsoring a fitness competition? Aren't we like having issues with that.
Yeah, remember when Monster was the one, and they like, oh no, but it's just water and it's sugar free, because we know that you're CrossFitters.
Sugar-free water.
Well, it was like whatever the drink was, and it's like, we
Oh,
have
okay.
water.
Like,
it's a sparkling water stuff. Yeah, whatever it was. But it's like, come on. I mean, whatever. I get it. Well, I mean, it's look who sponsors like the Olympics, like Coca-Cola, McDonald's.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, that's
right?
great. Yeah.
You know, but I do think that at any elite level, anything is not adding years to your life. It's taking years off. Period. Like you are trading in years of health for a handful of years of success and
Greatness.
fame and you know, for all intents and purposes. And this is not a shot, because I mean, I wanted to be, and was at different times in different levels of the sports that I've been at an elite level. But there's also like an ego element to that. Like, why does a little kid want to be in the NFL? Because they want to make touchdowns? No, because they want everyone to know who they are. And look how cool I am. And because they're like, oh, I'm looking up to this, you know, this athlete or that athlete. And they want people that I mean, that's, and again, that's not a bad thing. It just, there's an ego-ness to it. And so the people that are not at that level, that try to eat, drink, act, whatever, like those athletes, thinking that they're trying to lose 10 pounds, like they're on the wrong path. They're on the wrong path. When the best is when Rich was in his heyday, and they're like, Rich, what's your nutrition like? And he's like, I don't know, I eat stuff.
Chocolate milk or whatever.
Bowl of peanut butter and jelly.
Yep.
And everyone's like, oh, Rich does that. I guess I'm going to eat my bowl of peanut butter and jelly. It's like, do you understand the difference of what's happening here?
And how much that man works out?
Exactly.
Day in and day out.
Yeah. And the people that were like, okay, I'm going to follow what he's doing. It's like, okay, well, that guy's 37. You're not, Rich is not 37. You are. You cannot eat bowls of peanut butter and jelly like that. Just can't do it.
I want to switch gears for a second, because I know we're rolling up on however much time, but
dude, I'm okay now. I'm an hour earlier than what I.
Okay, all right, okay.
I'm good. We can do whatever you want.
Okay, cool. So you were talking about like, why do people want to get into professional sports? And it's usually fame or money, or young kids do you think that these young CrossFit athletes, do they want to get in, or have we reached a point where they want to get into it for fame or money? Because I feel like the original group of young athletes that got into CrossFit to win the CrossFit Games, I think they really wanted to win the CrossFit Games. That was their goal, maybe a sponsorship or so. But I don't think that it was like nobody knew who they were, and then they got really good at CrossFit, and then in an instant, everybody knew who they were. And I don't think they were prepared to handle that.
I think when you're a young kid, the things that you are winning are, you know, little local events, whether it's you're on the cross country team, or you're, you know, a kid that plays baseball, or you're on the wrestling team or whatever. You're winning. I mean, you aren't winning, generally speaking, of course, not winning like national and world titles.
But see,
so you don't know what that win is yet. I'm talking CrossFitters. I'm talking CrossFitters.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say baseball and basketball kids or football kids too, like in high school, they can become blue chip.
Oh, totally.
And so they have a level of fame already in their state, maybe in like a national poll or something like that.
Okay.
And so they kind of already know what it is to be. They've maybe been on their local television, or, you know, they have a little Instagram thing happening.
I think that, well, one, I think it's different between boys and girls.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys don't get the same notoriety at all on social media that women do and girls do. If you haven't, okay, maybe you win some tournaments. Maybe even if you win a national something as an age group, whatever.
Or McDonald's All-American, or you know,
any of those. But
yeah.
what makes a young girl feel better about themselves, rather than that. Like, okay, you won that weekend. You feel good for a week. But what do you want to hear all the time? You're awesome. You're so awesome. You're so awesome. You're so awesome. And now with social media, that's what they want. And so that almost becomes more of what I think people are wanting to get. I mean, it was cool. It was cool hearing right before me and Chase went on this morning. I was listening. I was watching Sevon's show and he had Alex on there, and she was saying, she's like, when I was a teen, like I wanted to win the games, like I wanted to be the game's champion. You don't understand what it takes to get there, but you know that it's out there, and that's cool. But what's easier to get? I mean, you're gonna have 100,000 followers well before you win the CrossFit Games.
I guess my point is like it just you want to win the CrossFit Games, and I get that. All of them do. I just don't think they understand what comes with that. Whereas other professional sports, like Kobe knew before he even got to the league that he was just going to get followed around all the time. LeBron James knew that. Michael Jordan was a big thing before he even went to, like, in college. He was a big thing. But I think some of the younger, like in actual professional sports, they kind of are media ready almost by the time that they're in the limelight. And I think they want CrossFit to be professional so badly and don't understand what comes with being in a professional sport. And
no, I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, because did you see so like Tyler Watkins said something cool, and he was like, hey, Alex Gazan earned this level of media coverage, right? Like she's that good. So many people like her, and she's earned that level of media coverage. And I don't think she knows that she's earned that level of media coverage. So when she woke up in the morning and her phone was going off and people were texting her, like, what the hell is this? She was like, what the hell is this? Like, people know what I talk about offline. Holy crap.
Yeah.
People saw, like, people talk. Oh my God. And I get it. I get why she was surprised, and I get why she was like, hey, lay off me. But like, you are this good and you are this popular that people now want to speculate. They want to talk about it. They want to, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that it is extremely naive for anyone that becomes any sort of a celebrity to feel that they aren't going to be all eyes on you. And with the bigger sports, the football, the baseball, the basketball, I mean, even in college, they do get training for that. They do get told how to talk
right.
when the media comes up. They do let you know, like, hey, you're gonna be looked at. I mean, it doesn't mean that people aren't gonna do dumb things.
They teach you how to not answer females' DMs so you don't get caught with a baby mama. Like, they teach you that.
Right. Because you are, and for them, and this is, I mean, you're talking about this whole professional sport thing. The difference here is those teams, like, they are investing in you as part of that team. And so they can't afford to have you do something stupid like that.
Right.
Who's investing in you in CrossFit? You're not on a team. Like, you're an independent contractor. You know what I mean?
But the whole thing was, though, am I gonna go here?
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. So the whole thing was like, Brian Friend was like, hey, you're not taking into account that they might lose sponsors.
You know what? No.
Like, when we talked about Tiger Woods, when Tiger Woods had his mental freaking breakdown, we talked about his sex life for 3 months after that shit, if not longer.
Right.
He probably got more sponsors.
It was different sponsors. He lost Nike, got the exerciser. You know?
Again, sponsors are sponsor, right?
Sponsors, money's money. You know, money's money. I understand what Brian is saying, and like, on a personal level, I mean, yeah, man, I don't want, I want the athletes to be able to do well, but the difference between, and I said, like, this whole thing about, like, this professional athlete thing, there is no sport where the best in the sport, if they do something dumb, people don't start talking about it. And like, what the hell was that? I thought they're a great athlete. So they're up on a pedestal of being this, perfect person, which we know is not the case. I mean, like it takes a special, all of the best are a little, there's something going on different. That's what makes them so good, because the wires are a little bit different. But to act like it's wrong for people to say or do or point, or no, it's not. Like for any athlete, like that needs to be the part where like your manager, your agent, okay, yes, we're going to do all these great things for you. You need to make sure that you're not an idiot. You don't say certain things. You don't do certain things. You make sure that people don't see you do X, Y, and Z, because it's going to be really hard, or you're going to have to deal with all of this stuff. For Brian to say that, like, I don't, to me, it's pandering to the group that his connection has always been like, I'm just so close with these athletes. What Brian has always been, I mean, he knows a lot of numbers, and I'm not taking a shot on Brian, but what his whole thing was, he was always a fan. Yeah. He's a fan of the athletes. That's why he knows so much about them. Mm-hmm. And when you are a fan, you're trying to protect and block and coddle, and I want to make sure that they get, and they should have, and we should be giving them everything. We should be, and maybe I'm jaded because again, as a wrestlers didn't get shit. Like you didn't get paid anything. There are no sponsors for anybody. Back in the day, there are more now, but you wrestled because you loved to wrestle. You competed because you loved to compete. That was it.
Do you think the waters get muddied a little bit because, like you were saying, he is a fan and he is friends with a lot of the athletes, and you don't want to report anything that could hurt that, or you perceive could hurt them? And I get that, and I understand it, but then you'll never you can't comment on it. Like LeBron, so take LeBron and Stephen A. Smith. They're friends. They've been friends. They just got in a huge fight a couple months ago because Stephen A. reported on LeBron's son, Bronny, playing and criticized him. And LeBron was pissed. And Stephen A. was like, suck it up. I report basketball shit.
Yeah.
And they're still friends, but like that can happen, and that has to happen. And if you're going to report on the news, like spin is so just, here's the news. Here's what I saw. Here's what I got. What's your take? Like he really doesn't even offer like an opinion.
No, we do
like
that.
He doesn't speculate. We all speculate on what
he just says, here it is.
Right.
This is what's come out. This is what so-and-so said.
Yep.
And even like the quotes aren't speculations. It's like, this is what was said in this interview.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quote unquote. He just says it. So to say that it was, he was pointing fingers or he's putting a bad light, it's like, well, she put the bad light on herself, man. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, I do think that that's a problem. I do think that is, that is where your difference of, are you being a journalist, which is more, that is the realm that Spin is in. He's reporting news.
Right.
He's reporting as much fact stuff as he can. I mean, like, you get what you get, and then you report what you have. Brian's not a journalist. Brian wants to be able to, if you have any problem with any athletes, you're not going to be able to say what their favorite color is and what time they get up in the morning to train and whatever. You're not going to have that information, which makes it sound like you have all this good information. So how can you talk bad about him?
Yeah.
He's not, I don't think that he would. And so I think that, it is a, I don't even think Brian even needed to say anything. Like, it wasn't his place to say, that wasn't right for Spin to say. That wasn't his place to say that.
We do this with the thing to me, I think that and Bernie, it depends on what you claim to be, a groupie or a journalist. I am not a journalist. I've always just been a fan, and I like to talk about sports in general, like just speculate. And I probably will have horrible takes and whatever, but I'm not researching anything, whatever. I just see, if I see an article from Spin, if I see an article from Stephen A, if I see, so like, I just want to talk about it because, like, hey, what'd y'all think? It's like water cooler talk for me, kind of.
Okay, and even pick regular sports. You guys are a fan of regular sports, right?
Yeah. I have the Knicks tonight.
Are there
I am
athletes you don't like?
sweating right now for the Knicks tonight, just so you know.
Okay.
Sweating.
Like, you're wearing the long sleeve shirt. That's okay. That's
I know.
It's tough in New York right now. Oh my goodness.
It is
it's stressful
so harsh right now.
Okay. And this is a rhetorical question, honestly, but like, are there athletes in the regular sports that you don't like?
Yeah, of course.
And what did they do to you?
Nothing.
Right. That's my point. Then that's my point. So there are here's a point where there are athletes out there that you don't like, or they irritate you, or they bother you for whatever reason. You support these other athletes and you don't support these other athletes.
Yes.
And you're a fan.
Yes.
Okay. Brian was always a fan. Brian got a ton of information. That's what Brian did. He would gather information so that he could talk about whatever athletes are out there. And I mean, truly, what's Brian's claim to fame is that he knows more about the athletes that no one knows about.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You got to know the athletes to do that. And you can't. Has he ever talked bad about any athletes? No, never. No, like I haven't. I can't remember. I'm talking, and I don't believe I've heard him ever really talk bad about any athlete. That's not an analyst. So someone up there had that he's an analyst. He's not an analyst. He's a stats guy. He knows numbers. And I'll give him that. Like he knows a lot of information about a lot of people. Cool. That's awesome. But that doesn't make you an analyst. An analyst is like, okay, well, here's my bowl of numbers. Now what happens with this? Because sports especially is not A plus B equals C. You can have A, you can have B, and then all of a sudden 3, 2, 1, go, or the whistle blows or whatever, and things go. And now it might be C. I guess statistically it should be C, but maybe it ends up being F, G, H, I, or J because of whatever happened. Someone had a great night. Someone had a bad night. Someone got in a fight with someone. Someone got in trouble. Someone is hurt. Whatever. I mean, sports is sports, and that's what I love about sports. And I've gotten into a lot of discussions with analysts that are out there, and all of the analysts in the space, or the people that say that they're analysts, everyone has their take on how they transmute that information. Like Brian's is, I want to know everything about all of the people that are on the floor. Okay, that sounds great. That actually works best before the event starts and then after the event. I like desktop talk stuff, because you can sit there and you can make a bunch of graphs and things like that. John Young, when he's doing his thing, he knows the fact that he can recall scores and times and whatever from exact moments and exact competitions, being able to be like, so he uses his historical, expertise, historical data to be like, okay, well, so-and-so is going to do good. So-and-so is going to do good here because they did this in 2019 when they were this age. And now then in 2022, they did this. 23, 24, they've been bam, bam, here's like this. And so I expect them to do this. So-and-so is going to be great and so-and-so is going to be trash. That's how he does it. Mine was always what happens on game day. Like, okay, I know who's good at running. I know who's good at the pull-ups, and I know who's good at pulling and who's good at Olympic lifts or whatever. But what is going to happen and what is happening on the floor right now that is making this person better than that person? That's what I do. So it's not like, one isn't better than the other necessarily, but that's the way that we paint our picture. Like when I'm talking about who's doing what, look at what their hands are doing. Why is his hand like that and the next guy's hand isn't like that? Their arms are too wide. They're too close. What does a wide do? What does a close do? Should they be going wider? How many sets did they break that up into? Why did they break it up? How did they in the past?
Even with the Knicks tonight, I love the Knicks, and I'm the most excited I've been for New York in a long time. But if those old men try to go out there and run up and down the court with those young ass Pacers, they're going to fizzle out the same way they did in game 1. It's not that I don't like my boys. I love my boys, but y'all are old and you got some miles on you and you got some injuries on you and you can't be running that race. Like you got to chill out, slow the ball down, calm down.
Like, that's where in that realm, that's where I would be talking. It's like, okay, what should they be doing in this game? Are they doing that right now? Are they dipping? Are they walking too close to the sun? And they might look good for a while, but then all of a sudden those wings are going to burn, and they're all
don't win that first round. Don't win the first round.
You don't have to win the first.
We got 4 rounds. Chill out.
So like all this stuff. I don't think it's bad to talk bad on athletes. I don't. I think that with all the athletes talking about how they want to be professional athletes, okay, well then act like one. Being a professional athlete doesn't mean that everyone blows sunshine and rainbows up your ass and nonstop to make sure that you feel okay. We want to make sure that you're happy because that's important. No, that's your job to take care of that. Yeah. Our job is our job as fans is to root for the athletes that we want to win for whatever reason. I want Alex Kazan to win because I think her hair is crazy. I want her to win. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's my only reason.
And we do have that dumbass shit where that is the thing. Like I wanted Ben Smith to win every single year because he trained in front of a refrigerator.
Right.
I didn't know anything about him. I just loved the video of him snatching in front of a refrigerator. And I was like, that's my guy. I'm rooting for him forever. Like I didn't see a documentary. I hadn't seen anything yet, but I was like, that's awesome. I love his mom, dad, wife. I want him to win forever. Down with Matt Frazier. Like that. There was no other reason other than the refrigerator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
so but I mean, like, again, if you want to be a professional athlete, just like suck it up. I have a hard time, and maybe it's because I don't know to the extent of like, what celebrityism is, for like, I mean, like we're talking the big end, high end celebrity type of things, but for, celebrities, and I'm talking all, they get upset at the people that don't leave them alone. Like you knew exactly what you were doing. You knew exactly what was going to happen if you made it.
Do they though?
I don't think CrossFitters do.
No. I don't think CrossFitters do, but I think celebrities do. I think how could you not? How could you? Everybody loves all the adoration until it doesn't fit exactly when they want to have the adoration. And the thing is like you don't get to control fans like that.
Yeah.
Right. So what I guess more of my question is, do you actually think that they know the real truth about what it's like to have eyes on you that much? So they see the other side of all the fame, all the publicity, all that stuff, but do they actually really understand what it like?
No, of course not.
What it would feel like to be that popular, to not be able to walk down the street without a bunch of fucking cameras in your face?
I don't think that, I mean, how can you as a kid know what it's going to feel like? No one's going to know what that feels like. But when people like so I wrestled with Chuck Liddell was on my wrestling team. We wrestled like 4 years together. So we were tight.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So yeah. That guy in the heyday of the early days of the UFC, when he was the world champion.
Yes.
I mean the best of the best.
Yes.
The best of the best of the best.
What the hell? Have we never just interviewed you? How did we not know that you wrestled with Chuck Liddell?
I don't know, man. Like, yeah, we were on the same team for 4 years.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I mean, like when he would have his fights in Vegas, like, there'd be all of us would all hang out and, we'd be part of his cool little entourage and stuff. And so I still talk to him, like, text every once in a while and still stuff. So yeah.
He was just on freaking Logan. No,
I know.
Yeah, Logan Paul, right?
Yeah, yeah. Which can't understand it. Can't understand half the stuff he says anymore. It's like, but what was crazy about him is he was a guy that came, I mean, very humble upbringing, and to where he got to the point where he had all kinds of money. He could not go anywhere without everybody knowing who he was.
Yeah.
And that dude always signed autographs. Always. Like he never was bad to the people that made him as popular as he was. I mean, he was a fighter, and that's all he wanted to do. But all those people he got money because people came to see him fight.
The Iceman.
And
yeah,
I mean, that like
yeah,
like he was the original. I mean, second
Top
tier,
Gun.
but first top tier, like the guy. Like there
I thought you were talking about Top Gun.
There was like Roy. There's like
Iceman.
Gracie in the beginning, and there was
Yeah,
Severin, and those guys
Boys.
like in the early days and stuff. But like he was the first mega superstar for UFC and any sort of like MMA stuff. And that dude,
he was in there with like St. Pierre and damn.
I mean all those guys. Yeah, it's crazy.
Holy crap.
But he never didn't give someone an autograph. Like he always gave time. And that's the thing. That's what I thought was always really impressive about him is it's like he never took his fame for granted to be like, I just can't talk to you. It's you all your people in my face. He just waving, smiling. He just did his thing. And so can it be done? I think it can be done. To see someone, I don't know, lose their mind, like go Britney Spears or something like that, where they
that's
but
that's weird Hollywood shit.
Totally. Yeah, it's
weird Hollywood shit.
Totally. Oh boy, Hollywood shit.
But so the thing is, like, I don't think people know. I don't think people truly know what it's going to be like. But for someone that is being treated like a professional athlete. When people are talking about you, talking good shit, talking bad shit.
I mean, and the biggest one, Tito. Yeah,
that was, I have
Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, it was the coolest one. We were at the Palms one time. I think Chuck had a fight at the Palms, and we were all at the pool after the fight. So it's all the party stuff, and we're all hanging out with Chuck and our group, and then Tito on the other side of the pool comes walking in with all of his like entourage and everyone, and there's like this big circling in the pool. It was so funny.
Tito was big shit too. Every female on the planet wanted to date him when he was
when you're like married to Jenna Jameson and like, it's like, oh, maybe he's doing something like cool that like most guys aren't doing. I don't know. So
hold on, let me ask this for O'Cole. What's up, dude? Did you ever walk out in his posse at a fight?
No, not up in the ring or anything like that. No, we just hung out. Like I was like, look, man, you just go do your thing. Like we're just here to hang out and watch you do your thing, and we'll hang out after, like all the after parties and all that kind of stuff. So
clock, we were at the Palms. Yeah, no big deal. We were just at the Palms, like
hanging out the Palms.
Did you see the speaking of notoriety and being famous and having like stuff come out, pause on you? Did you see the Brett Favre Untold documentary? Dude,
I did.
How? I was like, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, it's funny because right as that was coming out, someone said that Chase looked like somebody in the locker room, and someone was like, he's like, yeah, I get that look at Brett Favre. It's like, he's like one of my heroes of all time. And I saw this thing, and I'm like, dude, you're not gonna like your hero anymore. Like, wow, like, you're a great football player, dude, but you're a dirtbag. Like, wow, I was shocked. So all of a sudden, his like apple pie American good face, just all of a sudden, it's like, wow, that was wild.
How much did that girl actually look like his wife? That to me was insane.
Well, the fact she made the comment was even more impressive. Like, I will say this, I will give that girl props.
Yeah,
you have Brett Favre texting you on the regular, like constantly trying, and you didn't step at all. Like,
she said they never met. Like they never met in person.
Okay.
So I was like, okay.
Like doesn't it? Okay.
Go ahead.
Doesn't that seem like that was a little hard to believe? I'm not saying that she was lying. I'm not saying that I don't believe it. If you have the most famous football player at the time trying to hit you up, you don't even want to be like, well, we'll just, I'm not even talking hooking up. I mean, you don't want to be like, meet for coffee? Nothing?
No, but it wasn't like okay. Let's be fair, Bill Grundler. Like it wasn't like the most famous football player, like whatever. Right now, what are you gonna do, Mahomes? Like if Mahomes was on your phone, you'd be like, yeah, I'm answering that shit. But at the time, Brett Favre, he was in the Jets. Doesn't that take away at least 50% of your popularity because you're on the Jets and you're old? Like,
I mean, okay. If you want to go that route, if you want to go there to that point, maybe it drops a little bit. But like, okay, look at in this again. Like, I'm not trying to generalize, although I've just seen it a lot. If there's a dude with any sort of money and clout. Like, I don't see very many women going, could you please leave me alone, please? Could you just back up? I mean, again, she didn't say that she was in a relationship with anybody else or like, she didn't mention anything like that. So as far as we know, she had a bodyguard. Like maybe he seemed like a nice guy. Who knows? Maybe she needed a nice guy. I don't know. But she goes from saying, here's this super rich dude that is trying to make a connection with me of whatever type he's trying to do. I'm really lonely tonight. You want to come over tonight? Well, my wife's not here. Like, what the heck ever?
We know what that connection.
Yeah, we know what that is.
Oh my gosh. But like, and you have nothing else going on.
But if she did do that though, don't you think like if she had went to the hotel and she had went to whatever, don't you think she would have eventually came out with like he touched me?
I mean, maybe. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe.
She never accused him of anything. The only thing she accused him of doing was sending dick pics. Like that. She never actually.
Which is kind of shitty. Like, that's all you got out of that whole thing, and you got everything ruined. Your career is over. It's like, shit, at that point, fuck, you should have went and got a couple trips out of it. Like, god dang, poor thing.
I know she didn't get dinners. She didn't get nothing. No, I know. Damn. That was a crazy documentary. Like I knew the Medicaid scandal or whatever the hell that was. Like I already knew that, but I didn't know the extent to this one. And I remember Deadspin. Like I remember that website, and that was crazy too because I didn't realize that was the website that made her as famous and popular as she was, and it was the one that ultimately
took her down all at the same time. Talk about, and we've completed the circle. All right, done.
So if Spin does that shit, hey Spin, don't do that. Don't be Deadspin. Or be Deadspin.
Making and breaking people all at the same time.
Or maybe be that popular. Never mind. I take it back. Be Deadspin. That's
but it was a good documentary though.
It was.
Wow. Like I didn't realize. I mean, I would like to have a whole lot of money too, and I'd like to think that I wouldn't be rich and be a douchebag at the same time. Where you're at, so if any of that happens, am I going to get caught? What's going to happen to me? If I gave you some money, am I going to get caught? If I get any money, am I going to get in trouble?
If you haven't been rich for most of your life and then you get rich, I think you have a better shot of being a normal human being rich than you do if you've been rich since you were 19 or you were 22.
Maybe lottery winners wouldn't tell you that.
Yeah, that's true. There's the curse of the lottery. Yeah, that's fair.
All that money, you don't know what to do, and you just get yourself in trouble and lose it all. Like, how do you lose hundreds of millions of dollars?
You give it to people.
How do you go bankrupt in less than a year?
That's what I mean. I can't even fathom how you would do that.
Well, I was talking to my one of my friends or whatever, and we were kind of talking about the same thing. Like, if you have like $100 million, how could you spend it that fast? And I was thinking about it, I was like, we could figure out a way. I mean, you get a bunch of houses.
Yo, Tyson did.
A bunch of
MC Hammer spent that shit.
Yeah, give a bunch of money to people, buy a bunch of yachts. Like you could spend that kind of money, but for what? Like, why would I need 6 houses? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the logic. Like it doesn't make sense as to how you could spend that kind of money.
Bill Belichick is bringing the heat right now. He damn sure is.
Are they engaged? Did I see that correctly?
Barry McCockiner sent me.
Oh, that's what it was.
The details. Yeah,
wow.
he's engaged. She's got a rock on her finger, and yeah, she's trying to get into Nantucket's high society philanthropy, whatever the fuck.
Have we asked Bill?
Oh,
yay, nay, okay, not okay. Bill Belichick and his girlfriend.
I mean, that's like a 40-year age gap.
Isn't it more than that?
Yeah, it is. I'm being generous at this point.
I mean, strong work there, fella. Strong work. I don't know.
I mean,
me and Laura are 20 years, so I can't say a whole lot about that.
And I would say you did the work. You put in the work. Your body looks the way that your body looks because you put in the work.
He stays snatched.
And Laura, he stays snatched ready. Yeah, Bill stays snatched ready.
Yeah.
Yep. You earned it.
There was we were talking, this was a long time ago. I can't remember what we were talking about. Someone in the locker room, we were talking about something. This was a while ago, but they were trying to put an age range that if you were this much older than your girl that you were with, that like you were stepping over the line, it was inappropriate. And I was like, I'm watching everyone saying like, oh, 10 years is fine, 12 years is fine. If you get over 15 years, it gets like, and I'm like, crickets. I can't say anything right now. But to my coolness on this, like she's an old soul and I'm young at heart, so we work. It's kind of even up right in the middle there, so we're good. We're good.
I used to do the same thing you did until you told me the age gap between you and Laura, because Colleen and I are 9 years apart.
She never said anything,
and I didn't say shit till she was like 30, and then I was like, okay, then now I'll tell you what my age is. Now that she's 30, like, cool.
Everything happened after the baby. Everything happened after the baby. Like I wanted to get our ring tattoos like 2 years into our marriage. She's like, no.
30.
5 years into our marriage, a kid later. She's like, okay, I guess we can do that. I'm like, it took a kid, it took a whole kid for you to believe that I'm not going anywhere. That's also why she named him after her.
we all got our traumas, right? We all got our traumas, right?
Yeah.
We got to deal with.
I don't have any triggers, but I've had trauma. Jeremy, I am not vain. I'm giving Bill his flowers right now. Like my man did the work. Just like Bill Belichick did his work. And no, I don't want to imagine him kneeling down to ask for her hand in marriage at all. I don't want to imagine that shit at all. But good for him. Let's go. Yeah, dude. Now, so much fun. Oh, we have, I do want to shout out, we have on Sevon's podcast tomorrow, we're going on with Joe Ellis. I don't know if you know her story at all, but her story was really cool. Do you remember when the helicopter crashed?
She was the helicopter pilot. Yeah.
She wasn't.
No. The one that everyone thought
thought it was her, and they thought she was dead, and she wasn't. She's like, I'm not dead. So she's coming on with us tomorrow on Sevon's podcast. So we're very excited about that. We want to talk about her military experience and all that stuff. So that's gonna be cool. And then man, thank you for coming on and hanging out.
I just completely derailed. I'm like, hey, so what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Daddy Trump. We're going to talk about.
I was going to do it.
And I just completely. We went
bro, I don't even care.
I
don't care anymore.
I tell her that all the time. She's like, I have some ideas, and I'm like, with Bill, we can't. You can't go in with that. If you got one topic, it's going to go all the way.
Hey, how did you feel?
Go.
I was going to ask you, the one question that I was going to ask you about it is, how did you feel about Daddy Trump's trip to Qatar and then Saudi Arabia and then getting the jet and just being a G? Nah, you don't like it?
I don't have a problem with it. For me, it's like what that showed, because I think he's the only president that's ever gone to Qatar, right?
I think
that
so.
was one thing. He's obviously, there have been other presidents that have gone to Saudi Arabia. None of them treated any of the other presidents the way they treated him when he came in.
I mean, purple. They put down the color of royalty, bro.
They did it. They had the horses out.
Yep.
They had all the planes and stuff. And it's like, I can see how people would misconstrue the $400 million gift of the airplane. Like, okay, like I get how people can make that argument, but If someone is going to give it to us for whatever reason, whatever the reason is, like, I mean, the guy's already been doing amazing things for us as Americans anyway. Bring in, what is it, like he made $10 trillion in deals when he went over there. And it's supposed to bring like $30 trillion into America.
Yeah.
And you people are unhappy about that? Like, you're mad that he got you're not going to be in the airplane anyway. Who cares? Like, you don't care. Really? The government, the government, we have a 40-year-old plane right now. Like, who, like, I don't know. I just think that people make a big deal about it just because it will be any reason to hate on what he's doing. And again, not to say that every single word that comes out of his mouth is like picture perfect and the cleanest and the most politically correct maybe or whatever, but I don't know. Me personally, I'm tired of the politicians. I want a guy that's going to run this like a business to make it work again. That's
We
what I
let them
think.
give us a plane so that they would keep trading oil as dollars and not Chinese yen. I don't know. Maybe you're smarter than me. I'm not mature enough to have these conversations.
Well, I mean, like, okay, I do know that like there was a lot of issue with trying to pull away from the petrodollar. So they wanted to make it to where the U.S. when it was within Biden, they wanted to make it where the U.S. Dollar didn't count as much, and so they weren't paying like the dollar to oil like that. They didn't want that. That's why like a lot of the companies started looking at BRICS and doing all that kind of thing. I don't see how an airplane would equal like, okay, we'll keep dealing with you. I think that there are other deals that were probably gone down that were put in play.
So the thought is that they were just trying to like kind of buy Trump with this plane. Like, hey, do whatever we want you to do, and we'll give you this plane. And people
okay,
think
they have a lot of fuck you money over there that they don't need to even worry about. Like, there are people rolling around in Lamborghinis and laugh if someone else has one that's 2 years old. So, like, the fact that they could do that, like, okay, you telling me that there aren't other lobbyists that are doing and have done and had the backs of their palms greased like crazy,
of course,
for other things? Like, come on, like. That's what I mean. Like the politicians get pissed about whatever if they don't get the one thing, and they're going to point fingers at, like, can you believe that they got this crazy gift? I don't. I voted for the guy, so I'm putting my trust in that he's going to do the things that he needs to do to make the country.
You hope they do the best that they can, and of course, there's always going to be mistakes. If Kamala won, there was going to be crazy mistakes that we wouldn't be happy with either. Trump is going to do some shit that's going to piss us off eventually, and we'll talk about that shit when he pisses us off. I'm sure this bill that they just passed will make a bunch of people mad. There'll be some things in there that we'll find out that we'll be like, oh, why the fuck did this happen? Or we'll be like, hey, that's awesome. But you can't help it. Our mayor got a bunch of shit too, because it was that whole Turkey thing where he was flying to Turkey and getting paid by all kinds of shit for whatever. It's like they all do it, whatever. You just hope
that I just don't want that to be a like, I don't know what the deal would have been. I mean, I can't even speculate. There'd be no way I could know even what they would. You know, insiders are saying that they got the plane so that they could do blah 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 blah. I don't know, but like, I just, again, the way that I can handle whatever's happening in politics is like, if it's something that makes sense to me, or if it's something that, if I see things that are generally going the direction that I prefer them to go, then I'm okay with that. And that, yeah, not everything's gonna be perfect.
no,
okay,
it's not.
So I don't really give a shit about the plane, but it was cool when he went in there and all that shit that was going down. It was like, dang, it's like Arabian Nights over there right now.
Yeah, it was like a boss move. Like, I'm not even, maybe something will pop up and I'll hate it later. But at that point I was like, damn, they gave our president a fucking plane. Like, what? Okay.
Yeah. And would they give Biden? They gave Biden we're not doing anything with you ever again. We're going to remove ourselves from the
No, they just let him fall
currency
off the plane. They were like, oh, you fell. Like, that's it.
How are you feeling about RFK's movements and the things that he's doing? Because there's been like a lot of talk around the whole autism connection with vaccines and stuff like that. And him going out and saying the things that he said that, and I'm paraphrasing because this is like the highlight and like the one piece that everybody talks about is that, autism or people with autism are ruining families. They'll never get married. They'll never do this. And of course, he's talking about the very severe extremes of autism and whatever. But it really set really put a bad taste in the autism community or whatever, because us that have autistic children, like, the fuck, he hasn't ruined our life and whatever.
Right. Right.
Also, G's not on the higher severity of the spectrum. You know what I mean? So like, how do you feel that RFK is moving? Are there things that you like, things that you're kind of iffy about? I know he's doing the whole trying to get all these parasites and chemicals and dyes and shit out of food, which for me, great, take it all out. We don't need all this extra shit. Like, I work with a nutritionist and she's explaining to me that the density of nutrients in food is so low compared to what it used to be, that like, in comparison, you could eat, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know the exact numbers, but back hundreds of years ago, you could eat 2 carrots and get all the nutrients from those 2 carrots that you possibly could eat. To get that now, you have to eat hundreds of carrots to get even close to what that is. Right. So just your perspective on how RFK is kind of moving.
I think that I think what he's trying to do with the statements like that is not take a shot at the autistic community and the kids and the families and everyone that's involved in that. I think what he's trying to do is, just as you would, the reason I know this is because I've gone through like family court stuff with my daughter and baby mama, and what people will do is they will take the most extreme case so that they can push people in a certain direction. I think with him saying that how hard it is for the families that have autistic kids is trying to emphasize, okay, government, you need to do everything you can to not put these people in this situation for this. And
that's how I took it.
You're doing all these shots, you're doing all these medications, you're doing all these things that are you're wanting to put in young kids' bodies for whatever reason, saying that they're going to be safe from this, but here's what's happening. And you showcase that. I mean, like, does it really have the same effect if you have a kid that's slightly autistic, not really on the spectrum, not really having any sort of issues, able to, be out in public and not have the sensory overload that someone else would have? You got to go on the other side, because those are the ones that are going to make the biggest verbal and visual impact. So I think that's what I would assume that's what he's trying to do. I mean, you don't ever want to throw anyone under the bus, but I think that in those, when they have those meetings like that, those sessions, that's what it is. Just like when the people going the other way are saying, are you saying that every single thing that we've done is put, harm into people? So they go the other way and say that we haven't done anything wrong. Everything has been above the line. Everything has been totally safe. Everything has been multi-tested in this and tested in that and tested and tested. That being said, I still like the things that he's trying to do. How it's going to go, I don't know. I hear them talking about all of the things. I just hope that it actually happens.
Yeah. I'm with you. I lean with you on that. I don't think he was trying. I think the messaging is poor.
Delivery.
Or the delivery was poor, but I think I understand what he was trying to do and what he's trying to say and whatever, but I was like, ooh, that probably what, like, Donald Trump Jr. said some shit about Biden having stage 5 cancer, and he tweeted some shit out about, and I was just like, my guy, really? You didn't have to do that. That was not the smartest fucking thing you've ever done, like, ever. So I don't know.
What's crazy is I really I like the stuff that he's talking about. God, it is so hard for me to listen to him. Like, I'm going like this, I hear him doing like that. I'm like, I know. Dude, I feel like I'm working my abs the whole time because my stomach is like,
I know.
It's crazy.
That's
but
all
there's some great TikTok videos though, between like him and the people that are out there where they're like battling back and forth. And I'm just like, cool, get it. Yell at people. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well,
but I don't like, I took it as, because I also have seen some families that their children are on the severe spectrum of autism, and they, they're talking openly now about how difficult it is, and how, was there something that I did that caused my child to be where they are now? And I think that I'm taking this whole journey of, Trump being in office and RFK being in office and not being so emotional with everything that comes out on the internet and whatever, of like, is it wrong to ask questions? And to me, it just seems like that people are asking more questions. They're looking for more information. Am I saying that they're necessarily going to get the response that they want or the answer that they want? Like, I knew after I had our son that the medicine that I took to help me keep food down, keep water down, to nurture him while he was in my body, there was a side effect that could equate to autism or whatever. And so I went through that whole process of like, did I do this to my child? And had to weigh those pros and cons of like, I was doing the best that I could at the time because I needed to eat and I needed to fuel and hydrate my body in order to take care of him. Did I know a lot then? No. Do I ask questions now? Yeah, of course. But I think that this whole thing is permission to ask more questions, even if you're not going to get the response that you want, or you're going to have to face yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what? I didn't know, and I made the choice, and maybe it was a wrong choice.
I think that people are afraid. They don't want to hear that they messed up. No one wants to hear that they made a mistake. That being said, I do feel that what's a parent's job? A parent's job is to do what they can to protect their kids, to teach them, to do whatever, whether you think it's right or whether you think it's wrong. Like, okay, so I was going through my court case, and one of the questions was going to be, my attorney was setting me up for this. He's like, okay, get ready, because if they ask you about the vaccine, you have to tread lightly on it. And I go, well, what do you want me to say? Well, they're probably going to ask you like, okay, why didn't you do it then? Would you do it now? And he's like, I think you should answer yes. And I'm like, why would I answer that? And he's like, okay, but what's the mainstream thing? Like, what's the mainstream process? And I'm like, okay, it sounds to someone that believes in the vaccine and what it's supposed to do, not what it did, but what it quote unquote was supposed to do. It seems like I should just automatically, the government said I'm supposed to do it. It's going to help us. Okay. And I'm just supposed to blindly accept that, but I can't. So if I found out now that like I should have, yeah, that would be hard. Mm-hmm. But all I can do is, and all you could have done then is, okay, I need to take the best choice, I need to make my best decision right now. And I got to go from that. It was, I know Seven just hopped into the chat here. I saw him. He hopped in.
Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate you.
He said, there were people that were saying like, I had to get the vaccine. I had to get it because of my job. And, Sevan was like, well, you didn't have to do it. Well, of course, from sitting where Sevan's sitting, he's working in his house. Like, that's where he works from. He's not at a job where it's like, okay, well, I don't even know what's happening. Like, maybe I am a nurse, or I'm an officer. I'm in the military where they're telling me I have to do it. And it's like, I don't have an option. And so in their mind, they're like, okay, I can choose to not have a job anymore, or I can, because I'm trusting this, or whatever I think it's going to be, or it makes sense or it doesn't make sense, or I'm going to choose to go this way. I know some people that took the first shot. I know some people that went every single booster they've ever had. And I know people that have gone everywhere in the middle. And it's interesting to me to listen to why people did the first one, why they did the second booster and not the third booster. Like, there were reasons why they did that. And that's just because of information that they were getting, or how they felt about the information that they had at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't, I know no one wants to hear, okay, I gave my kid whatever vaccines that they had when they were a kid, and now they either have autism or there's a chance of that or whatever. There is no parent that is trying to hurt their kid, not intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like that's that when women are pregnant, and I've seen this so many times with members in our gym, they'll read all the books, they'll hear all the podcasts, they'll do all of the things. And now that's like, I now know everything. I now know everything there is to know about being a mom and what's going to happen and everything's going to happen.
I don't know shit.
And you don't know shit. And that's what's so crazy. That is what's so crazy.
Yeah.
But that it's like you get information, and if you go as far as I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Here's one piece of information. And all right, well, that's it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, then that is, I think that if that is, and I don't mean you, I just mean you as in people, if that's as far as you go to really check in on either your health or your kid's health or your loved one's health, then you're not doing a very good job. You know, I don't think.
I mean,
but
I can say that. Like I didn't, and I love how you kind of said blindly follow, because we talked about this on another podcast or whatever, is that we trust the ones that come before us, and we trust the stories that they tell and the information that they give. And for so long, you are taught, at least I was taught, that the government's always going to have my back. That was the lingo that I was taught, that I saw, that I heard. And then when it came to vaccines and all this stuff, I listened and I saw the generations before me. You know, my aunts, my mother, you know, I don't remember my grandparents because I was a later baby. My parents are much older. But I remember seeing all that stuff. So what do? You trust because you're like, oh, my parents did it this way. I'm fine. Am I fine? But I'm fine. You know what I mean?
You don't know. Now you're like,
so you trust what comes before you. So then until you start to ask those questions, until you start to question things of like, wait, people are saying this. And that's why I go back and forth. Like, is it good that we have all of this information, or is it not good that we have all of this information? Because what's true, what's not true, what's being fed, what's a conspiracy theory, all of these type of things. And people take one part of it and then they run with it. You know what I mean? So it's like, is this like gift of so much information? Is it actually a gift or is it not?
Well, and the hard thing now is that the information that we get is, I mean, it's been, I think it was Obama that did it, like allowed all like advertisements and news media, they were allowed to be told what to like be predicted. It wasn't just journalism anymore. It was, you must say, or we can control what is said, because we're trying to, I can't remember what it was. Sevan would know it. It was controlling. It was controlling this. It would be controlling the information that is being put out there. Well, when you control the information that's being put out there, you can now go the other way and say, okay, we want you all to think this certain way.
Right.
And so we're going to give you whatever, like whenever they always show these ones where it's like, they'll show 18 different news things all in the same picture. And they're all saying the same word. They're all saying, Sevan just had one. It was about the ambush.
Yeah.
Ambush. You know?
Oh, that was the word, ambush?
But do you remember, they always had that though, because do you remember those commercials where it was like, if you've been hit by a bus, call 1-800 blah, blah, blah. And they would just repeat and repeat to the point where you knew the number. Like it just, and probably if you got hit by a bus, you would call that number because that's just a number they did it for everything, towing companies, and it was just the same commercial with the same wording, and they would play it 25 times in 30 minutes to the point where you remembered the phone number. And that's to me what this feels like now, is like they're just going to say the words over and over and over again until people are like, oh yeah, well, it was an ambush.
They don't call them sheeple for without a good reason. I mean, just like you said, you can pop people in the face with the same exact thing, and they're going to hear the exact same thing, and it's like, oh yeah, well that's it. That's the thing.
I fell for all the buzzwords. Every buzzword. I fell for literally from 2000 probably 18 to probably 20.
Hey, I hate you because I'm singing the
Cars for Kids. That's one of them. Yep.
Yep.
Cars for Kids. And they just keep doing it. Yeah. And you know right. And so and I felt probably until about 2021. And then I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Wait a minute, why are you firebombing your own community? Wait a minute, why are you but the buzzwords, and the biggest one was, hey, Black people can't be racist.
Right.
And I regurgitated that to so many people that I had to apologize to later. I was like, no, that's not possible. Black people can't be racist. And now all we're seeing is just what was the farmers from Australia, the white farmer refugees that are coming here? No, that's reserved only for minorities. Right. I mean, they're getting slaughtered, and we're not going to take them in. But because they're white.
So
you don't even have a reason.
No, every single one of those things, and whether it's vaccines for the kids, trying to save your grandparents from getting sick, or Black people can't be racist. Well, all of the things, it has an emotional hook on it.
Yep.
And that's the part that gets you, because
it's the fear.
You feel like if I go against that phrase, whatever the phrase is, or that statement, that I am an insensitive, heartless, immoral piece of shit. Because I don't want to save my kids.
Yep.
I actually want all of my grandparents to die with this terrible disease. But of course, Black people can't say, or white people, Black people can't be racist because, they had all these things that happened before. Yeah. So they can say whatever they want to say, and I can't. Yeah. Because they deserve that, earn that. I don't know. It's everything is emotional hook. And that's where and my mom's a Democrat. She's like old school Democrat, where the government is here to help. The government's here for us. They're here to protect us. So it's really, when I go to visit her, she's got, the MSNBC is on and all the things. CNN. She's like, oh, you don't want me to play this on. I go, Mom, it's your house. You can play whatever you want. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. And she'll be getting upset about whatever. But I listen to the way that certain things are said. And it is, and I'm not saying that Fox doesn't do this on the other side. I mean, it is. Yeah. But the game you play, and I think going back kind of around to what RFK was doing, the more emotional you can make a statement, the more hook it has.
Yeah.
Rather than just saying what it is. And so that's always going to be the play that's given, is that how emotional can we make this? How segregated can we make this? How marginal can we make this? How you don't care about your kids. Well, geez, if anyone talks like that to me, if all of a sudden I think that I am doing something bad for my kid, I am instantly going to do the other thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do wrong by my kid. I'm not saying that I won't, my kids may not like what I am doing, but I'm the parent. I'm supposed to stand up and be like, this is what we're doing. For whatever reason, I should be able to justify what I'm doing. Yeah. But if I know that I'm doing damage to my kid, God, that would wreck me.
Yeah.
I mean, I get bummed out if I'm making my kids sad, let alone, she doesn't see that. She won't see that, but it's in the back room where I'm like, oh my God, she's going to be so bummed.
Jeremy, I'm not derailing this conversation with whatever you sent me,
us.
But I will. No, I probably will never pull that up on a podcast.
That's heavy.
I do appreciate it though. I did laugh in my head very, very loudly. But no, thanks guys. this was fun. I'm glad we did get into the politics a little bit. I know it was funny. You're like, hey, are we going to freestyle? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to talk about the Pope, Daddy Trump, and then just some freestyle. And then but I like talking to you about life and kids and stuff.
We are not.
No, I'm not
going
showing
to
that.
send Bill the clown video ever. Absolutely not.
Nope.
Wow. Now I'm intrigued. Can I like Google that? Like clown video?
You don't want to. You will never sleep again. You will never, ever sleep again. I literally just forgot about it. So F you, Jan, for reminding me that thing exists.
No, Jan, I still think Sev has the longest record.
Sev has the record, yeah.
2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that.
We'll beat that next time.
We'll
do it on purpose. See, because we can do our freestyle and then we can actually do your question.
Do the questions, yeah.
So,
hey, thank you so much for this. Hopefully we'll get to have you on like after Syndicate.
Are you going to Syndicate?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll me and John and Sevon and Ty and Taylor and Bryson and everyone will be there. And then the next weekend we're going to NCC too.
Oh, that's you guys are out there. All right.
But that's closer for you.
Yeah,
that one's easy for me. Yeah.
How far is that away from you?
It's like 4.5 hours maybe. It's not bad.
Oh, okay.
Well, you guys go to Syndicate. Send Laura out here to the Hamptons. We'll take her around the Hamptons while you're at Syndicate.
I'm still trying to see if Bill will come to the game so he can bring Laura. You guys can come hang out in the Hamptons after.
Yeah, that would be
after the games. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Also, listen, we'll keep talking to Bill. We'll see.
I don't know. Let me see what it is, and then I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
I will send Bill a clip from it so he can have the education and know what he's getting himself into. But
I'll go look back on it. I'll find it.
But yeah, dude, thank you so much. Appreciate you always when you come on the show. It's always
there you go. You can have the choice.
Bill can choose the workout he will beat him at. Bill can make his own workout up. Okay, that's cool.
All right.
There you go.
He's like,
okay.
All right. Must be barefoot. We did.
Yeah.
We did
barefoot,
say that.
pull-ups, and overhead squats. All right.
And thank you guys for hanging out with us. Please come hang out with us tomorrow on Sevon for EST. It should be a really good conversation. I'm excited about it. Again, Heidi, if you didn't hear me before, congrats on the house, girl. Go get it. And thanks, y'all, for hanging out. Love y'all.
Bye.
Deuces.